This video is a continuation on my Crimes Journey to Life blog that I've been writing, and specifically I've been busy with the education fraud series, in which I look at the education system of America, which would be around the principle of children that are being encouraged to study courses that for which there are no actual jobs available, children who believe that they'll be able to find a place in the economy by studying, and things like textbook fraud, and as I just mentioned, situations around children not finding work, the economic crisis in America and in the world, and basically how children are being coerced into studying certain careers when there are no jobs available for them within these careers. So I'm basically looking at a documentary that was done, The College Conspiracy, as a starter within looking at the education fraud all over the world. I'm looking at this specific college fraud that is busy happening in America specifically. So I'm taking this documentary and I'm going through all the points within the documentary, opening it up, looking at everything that's being said. I'm using the transcription of the actual documentary to look at all the points that are being mentioned by all the people that are interviewed within the documentary, and by looking at everything that they're saying, more points are opening up in relation to, for example, the economic situation that is happening in America and how this is impacting on the debt crisis, how the education fraud is basically focused around the point where the people who are out to make more money are basically using the education system to trap young people and their parents in debt. So this is an economic move. It is not therefore being done from the interest of children and their futures, meaning when people are encouraging children to go and study, to go and take out these ridiculous loans that they'll never be able to repay. This is all done from the starting point of greed. This is all done from the starting point of capitalism and profit. It is not done in the best interest of the country or the youngsters or the people who have to go out and earn a living for themselves. So this documentary, for example, that I'm right now focusing my self-forgiveness on, looks at the specific debt fraud, how the education system is linked in with creating debt slaves. So as I mentioned, I open the points up, and where it's mentioned, for example, that what is happening in the background at the same time is the recession point, which is what I'm working with right now, I then go and I focus my self-forgiveness on recession. So that's just to give you an overview of the education fraud point that I'm walking currently within the Crimes Journey to Life blog. And I will be providing a link to the blog here in the description box. A point that I would like to highlight now is our own education fraud that is very prevalent here in South Africa, is the point around the expelled ANC Youth League leader Julius Malema is expected to hand himself to authorities following a warrant of arrest issued in connection with alleged fraud. The warrant is understood to be linked to the poor delivery of textbooks to pupils in Limpopo in South Africa. So basically, this Julius Malema, who is a politician, is handing out tenures to fraudulent groups and companies in South Africa who, instead of using that opportunity to provide textbooks to the schools in South Africa, are basically going around, and they are, once they have the tenure and they have the business and they have the money, they basically take the textbooks, and instead of delivering the textbooks, they dump them. So this is now the latest thing in South Africa, where the elite government officials are handing out contracts to their friends and cronies and business partners and family members, and then once those people have these contracts and they receive millions and millions of rands of taxpayers' money, they either, such as in this case, will dump the product, or they'll deliver it half-half just to sort of keep people quiet, Or in the case of other business opportunities, they'll use substandard equipment, such as in the case of building and infrastructure and so forth. They'll use lower quality products instead of doing the job properly, which is meaning that some structures and buildings are collapsing and people's lives are being placed in danger. Medical facilities that are not being stocked efficiently because the money is being used for, going into the people's pockets instead of them actually, for example, stocking clinics with the medicine that they were supposed to do. People are going hungry, sick, being injured and hurt in the process of people compromising because of the point of greed. So I'm adding this video here as part of the Crimes Journey to Life blog series, specifically around the point of the education fraud that is happening all over the world. So read the blog. Thank you very much.